The Western land, nervous under the beginning change. The Western states, nervous as horses before a thunderstorm.
The great owners, nervous, sensing a change, knowing nothing of the nature of the change.
The great owners, striking at the immediate thing, the widening government, the growing labor unity, striking at new taxes, at plans, not knowing these things are results, not causes. Results, not causes. Results, not causes.
The causes lie deep and simply. The causes are a hunger in a stomach, multiplied 1,000,000 times, a hunger in a single soul, hunger for joy and some security, multiplied 1,000,000 times, muscles and mind aching to grow, to work, to create, multiplied 1,000,000 times.
The last clear, definite function of man. Muscles aching to work, minds aching to create beyond a single need. This is man.
To build a wall, to build a house, a dam, and in the wall and house and dam, to put something of man's self, and to man's self take back something of the wall, the house, the dam. To take hard muscles from lifting, to take the clear lines in form from conceiving.
For man, unlike any other thing organic or inorganic in the universe, grows beyond his work, walks up the stairs of his concepts, emerges ahead of his accomplishment.
This you may say of man, when theories change and crash, when schools, philosophies, and narrow dark alleys of thought, national, religious, economic, grow and disintegrate, man reaches, stumbles forward, painfully, mistakenly sometimes.
The sunlight glistened on hair, tawny with dust. The children were embarrassed to be there, but they did not go. Ma talked quietly to a little girl. She was older than the rest. She stood on one foot, caressing the back of her leg. Her arms were clasped behind her. She watched Ma with steady, small, gray eyes.
I could break up some bread if you wanted to, ma'am.
Ma looked up from her work.
You want to get us to eat, huh?
Ma slipped the twigs under the pot, and the flame made a puttering sound.
Didn't you have no breakfast?
Ain't no work thereabouts. Pa's trying to sell some stuff to get gas so we can get along.
Didn't none of these here have breakfast?
Yeah, we ate good. My brother and I are going south tonight.
Then you ain't hungry. There ain't enough here to go around.
We ate good. The fire's down, ma'am. I can keep it up if you want.
I'm sure glad you ain't hungry. That little fella ate anyway.
It was crowded. The strange children stood close to the stew pot, so close that Ma brushed them with her elbows as she worked. Tom and Uncle John stood beside her.
I don't know what to do. I gotta feed the family. What do I do with these here?
Children stood stiffly and looked at her. Their faces were blank, rigid, and their eyes went mechanically from the pot to the tin plate, and when she passed the steaming plate up to Uncle John, their eyes followed it up. Uncle John dug his spoon into the stew, and the blank eyes rose up with the spoon. A piece of potato went into John's mouth, and the blank eyes were on his face.
You take this now, I ain't hungry.
But you ain't ate today.
But I ain't hungry. I got a stomach ache.
You take that plate and bring it to the tent and eat it.
I ain't hungry. I can still see him in the tent.
Tom turned on the children.
You go and leave. Never come back.
Ma ladled the stew into the tin plates, very little stew, and she laid the plates on the ground.
I can't send them away. I don't know what to do. Take your plates inside. You have what's left. But don't you fight.
The group broke up with a deadly silent swiftness. Children ran to find sticks. They ran to their own tents and brought spoons.
It won't do you no good, but I can't keep from you.
A mean, angry woman walked by.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Won't you sit down?
No, I won't sit down.
Can I help you in any way?
You can help me by minding your own children and letting mine alone.
I ain't done nothing.
My little fella came back smelling stew. Don't you give it to him. I know you did. He told me. Don't you go boasting and bragging about you having stew. I got enough problems. He's coming to me saying, why don't we have stew?
Well, sit down, take a piece.
No, I ain't gonna sit down. I'm trying to feed my folks, and here you come along with your stew.
Sit down. That was about the last stew we're gonna have till we at work. Suppose you was a cooking a stew and a bunch of little fellas stood around moaning. What would you do? We didn't have enough, but you can't keep it when they look at you like that.
The woman's hands dropped from her hips. For a moment her eyes questioned Ma, and then she turned and walked quickly away. And she went into a tent and pulled the flaps behind her. Ma stared after her.
We are the grapes of Wraph. We'll never take a bath. It is our style to seldom smile and never laugh. We are the grapes of Wraph, so stay out of our path. There's no escape from cranky grapes. We are the grapes of Wraph. I'm Bob.
I'm Paul.
This is our brood.
We're grumpy and we know it.
That's Tom and Rosie.
They're both rude
and not afraid to show it. We're not the folks you'd like to meet. We bicker by the hour, while other grapes are nice and sweet. We're really rather